Is there a cafe?
Yeah, there's a massive hall and a cafe and some shelter for you, because the hailstoning.
Oh, that's good, isn't it? Hello, my name is Martin. Welcome back to another video. I am not alone.
Hi, I'm James.
Who?
James.
Jane? Oh, Jane's here. Anyway, Jane, where are we?
So today we are at Errwood Hall.
Errwood Hall in the Goyt Valley. I'm going to show you on a map where we are. There you go, we are south-southeast of Manchester city centre in the Goyt Valley, that's the River Goyt, and we're not far from the town of Buxton. We're also joined by Timmy. Hello Timmy. Hello Timmy. So yes, the little drowned rat is with us. Little drowned rat with us. What have you got? Have you got a stick? He's more interested in the stick there, stripping it down. Right, so this is one of James's ideas. James found this one. He brought us here today. Weather yesterday was glorious sunshine, quite unusual for March. It's just been hailstoning.
Yeah,
and
really
snowing.
badly.
He said it'd be good weather.
It's a tiny bit of hailstone. It'll stop in a minute.
All right. Got a direct line to the Met office.
Did you not check the weather forecast?
So, Errwood Hall, James, you know all about this place. What can you tell us about it?
So, Errwood Hall was a big hall.
He knows his stuff, doesn't he? As you can see, Errwood Hall was a big hall.
Yeah.
Very, very big hall. So, Errwood Hall, it was built in the 1830s by a Manchester merchant called Samuel Grimshaw. He obviously picked his spot out here because it's very beautiful. So the Grimshaw family lived here for about 100 years. The last of the family to live here were in the 1930s, and it was Samuel Grimshaw's grandchildren that lived here. Right, so here we go, potted history. Samuel Grimshaw purchased the estate in 1832 for £9,250. Work on the hall started around about 1840. Younger Samuel inherited the estate on the death of his father in 1851, and when he died in 1883, the estate passed to his first wife Jessie, and then on her death in 1893, two daughters, Mary and Genevieve, inherited the hall. Genevieve died in 1929, followed a year later by Mary, and it was this point the whole estate was compulsory purchased. Here's some details on that purchase and its reasons. Eventually, the hall passed into the hands of Stockport Council, and it's over to James who's going to tell you what happened to the hall.
So as Stockport got bigger, they needed more water to feed the town. So they had all this land here. So what they decided to do is to build a reservoir called the Fernley Reservoir. So I don't know whether, because it is near the reservoir, but it's not. So Stockport decided to take down the hall to build this reservoir. And I think some of the stones were used to actually build the reservoir as well.
Yeah, for some reason, they decided that the hall was quite near the reservoir. And it isn't. No. Well, it's not far away, but it's not like on the edge of the reservoir, or they were going to flood the valley. So why they pulled this down, I don't know. So they pulled the hall down, did the reservoir to feed Stockport, and apparently some of the stonework or some of the stones from the hall are near the reservoir, and they used them to build the water treatment works down there. Why did they pull this down? I do not know. I do not know why they pulled this down. I don't get it.
I think it probably cost too much to keep it open.
1930s though, weren't it? Did they have, I mean, the 70s were full of disrespect for buildings, where they pulled hundreds of buildings down. But 1930s, I don't know, would they not have known better?
There were no National Trust or anything.
I don't know. Okay, so firstly, I need to credit the website where I'm getting a lot of these photos and a lot of this information. It's goytvalley.org.uk, so big credit to those for the information I'm getting. But here is a picture of them building the Fernley Reservoir back in the 1930s. You can see here it was they just flooded the valley as they normally used to do, and there were buildings in it already and everything, so if they ever got drained, those buildings would probably still be there. But these are great photos. Here is the source that says why the hall got demolished. This is from peakdistrict.org. Errwood Hall was demolished primarily in the 1930s. The reason for the demolition was the Fernley Reservoir. Although the hall was not submerged under the new reservoir, it was considered too close for comfort, leading to concern about its safety and hygiene. Consequently, the decision was taken to demolish the hall, even though it had stood as a significant landmark in the region and held the historical significance. Right, let's see how close it is to the reservoirs. Right, here we go. Google Earth, that's where the hall is, there where the cursor is, and there's the two reservoirs. Errwood Reservoir there, Fernley Reservoir there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you, and we'll just see how close, how teetering it is on the edge of the reservoir. Oh look, it isn't, because there's the remains of the hall. It's in the little bit of the Goyt Valley there. I think it's the lower Goyt Valley, I'm not quite sure, but we're nowhere near the reservoir. In fact, it's a good 10 minutes walk from the reservoir. So your guess is as good as mine as to why this thing was pulled down. There's the road and there's the car park for the reservoir. And that's where you've got to walk. There you go. So what is the good of looking at an old hall like this without sort of getting a glimpse into the lives and the people that were involved with it? So here's some pictures again I got from that wonderful website, thegoytvalley.org.uk. These are the servants. This is a later picture. I think this is around about the very early 1900s. Looking at that picture and considering that they're all servants, I don't know what it is about that picture. I find it quite profound. I think it's the children maybe, I'm not quite sure. These are named as the groundsmen. A few of them got guns, so it looks like they would have accompanied shooting parties. And here's the masters who are about to go on a shooting party. This one is dated 1881. And then this one is dated 1883. Now, earlier I mentioned in the timeline, the potted timeline, Mary and Genevieve, and here is a picture of them both. They're in that doorway, and it's the opening of a local village hall. This is 1926. Now, you can hardly make them out. In fact, they almost look like men, but that's Mary and Genevieve. And then here is Mary in 1900. And of course, Mary was one of the last owners of the hall, as she slightly outlived her sister Genevieve by about 1 year. Fantastic pictures. During the opening scenes to this video, me and James did the intro at those three arches there, those three window arches. And then in front of that is a sunken garden. Here are those three arches again, so you can relate to the hall as it used to be. And the sunken garden is quite beautiful, now gone without a trace. Now, it looks like the Grimshaw family were very well connected, and apparently they held rather extravagant parties up here, out on the lawns and in the conservatories and in the house, and they were renowned for it. It must have been quite a job getting the guests up here, because it is a little bit secluded, and back in the 1800s, I imagine the roads weren't that brilliant back then, but anyway, renowned for its parties. So I'll give you a quick look round. You can see it's quite a beautiful stonework. These were windows, as you can see, and these would have looked out onto a garden. So where you're looking there, that would have been like a garden. Apparently there's little bits of it that remain still. We'll have a look at that in a bit, but you see the steps over there in the distance. So yes, this would have been an area where you come in, maybe a conservatory type area. Let's go over here. Still, see, it's quite a sturdy hall. That's the outer wall there, quite sturdy. Tim's running around all over the place here, and then you've got other rooms here, and it's got beautiful views down there, the Goyt Valley. I think that there's a little stream down there. I think it's the Goyt, but that, I wonder if that was the main entrance to the hall, possibly. And you'll see it sprawls all over here. I will get you an aerial shot of it, and it sprawls this way as well, all down there. Look at that, and that looks like there would have been more windows down there where those blocks are. Now, when you approach what clearly was a doorway, possibly the main entrance to the hall, I don't know, you're greeted with this sort of semicircular form of coat of arms. Let's have a look. So this, what would have been rather a beautiful coat of arms on this stone, used to be above the front door. So it wasn't here. It's all very, very faded now. You can only hardly make it out, but it was up above, like I say, the front door. And there is that coat of arms. Looks like that was taken during demolition. It's either on the floor there or the hall is in ruins behind it. That's the best I can get for you. Looks like a griffin, maybe, but that's how it used to look back in the day. Look at this, right? You know what I love? Things like that may be part of the original locking mechanism on the door. How cool is that that's still there? And of course we've got some dress stone here and everything. We've come across a lot. So, are there any photos of inside the hall?
Yeah, I think so.
Have you seen them?
No.
I think there is. There's one, maybe two photos, and they're a bit dodgy. A bit poor quality of what the hall looked like inside, but they're very limited. So I'll show you those now. Okay, so this is, it says the chapel 1920. You can see the website at the bottom. I strongly recommend you go and look at that website to get much more information than I'm giving you here. But it does look, well, very, very, very grand, doesn't it? Absolutely fantastic. We've not done it for a while. It's that part of the video where some of you love it and some of you hate it. James?
Brew time!
Brew time! And what we're going to do, let me get down there.
Sun's out because it knows it's brew time.
Sun's out. What we're going to do, I bought some cakes.
And I bought some.
He's bought some cakes. We don't know what each other have bought. So we're going to mark each other out of 10 on what we brought for the brew time. Right, let's go.
Ooh. Ooh.
Do you like his coat? Did you get it cheap, that?
No, it's a big
You had to buy less for a multicoloured coat.
It's a big make.
What make is it?
Regatta.
Oh, right, there, you dropped the spoon.
Tea?
Tim thinks he's getting something. Dram rat.
Tim, this is hot. You won't like this. Tim's got a little bit for brew time. Timmy.
Ooh, bit of milk. Right, what have you brought?
Right. Close your eyes.
Expect something cheap, viewer. Oh, never Mr. Kipling Battenbergs.
Battenbergs are good.
That's really good. How much for them? Too sweet, these. Look at that. It's marzipan.
Eat it.
I hate marzipan. I've not got a sweet tooth. I'm more savoury.
What would you rate it?
For me, personally, that's a 4 out of 10. Just sweet, processed, horrible marzipan, chemical crap.
Right, let's switch over to me now. 6.5 out of 10.
6.5 on your own.
Yeah, it's not like the best dessert everywhere. It's just a bit different. And I do like marzipan, but yeah, it's not the best.
You want to see what I bought?
Yeah, go on.
Fresh from the bakery. Vanilla cream crowns. You can't beat that, can you? Let's face it. Come on. The pastry's not too sweet. And then you have to work your way around and into that fondant custardy centre.
Custard's nice. What do I rate it?
Yeah.
7.2.
I rate it, for a cake, 8. Here's one.
You.
Drinks are on you. So as we leave the hall and go for a walk now, I want to show you another little building. But here are some pictures of the hall during its demolition. Absolute criminal, to be honest with you, wasn't it? Pulling this place down, but who can get inside of the heads of the people that pulled this down? And an interesting piece of trivia, Alan Garner, who wrote the Weirdstone of Brisingamen, a book that I know quite well, also wrote this book called The Moon of Gomrath. And during its climax at the ending, the closing scenes in this work of fiction, it all takes place here at Errwood Hall. I really don't know what it's about. I'd probably need to read it, to be honest with you, but a little bit of extra trivia for you. What we need to do now is go towards the back of the hall, and apparently there's a path, a little valley, and we're going to a little building that I'll tell you about when we get there.
Right, Martin's going to bravely cross the river if he can. Hopefully he doesn't slip.
It's a challenge.
Are you alright doing it?
Yeah.
Martin's got us lost, so we're just walking along here. I think we might have found it, but we've got no signal.
James has got us lost. Right, this beautiful little building here, this is called St Joseph's Shrine. According to the guidebook, it's a three-quarter of a mile walk from the hall. We got lost, so we've probably done about a 5-mile walk, hence I'm a bit red-faced. But anyway, let's forget that. It's worth coming to, St Joseph's Shrine. So, it's got a little bit of a backstory. So the people at Errwood Hall had a governess, and she was held in very high esteem. I'm going to put a name here. Held in high esteem by the children and by the family. Very Sound of Music, isn't it? When she died, they built this little chapel in her memory. But that's what it's for. That's why it's been built here. Whether the family came out here to worship on a Sunday, I don't know, because it's quite a walk from the hall. And I imagine back then, it's not the easiest of paths. The silence, honestly, is deafening. So if you do come here on a nice day, come in the week where there's nobody around. I know you can hear there's a little watercourse back there, but there's just absolute silence. So a little bit more information on Donna Maria Dolores. She actually died in her 40s on a trip to Lourdes. So it sounds like she may have been ill for some reason, went to Lourdes but never made it home, and they built this little shrine to her. I will show you inside now. So it's very lovely here. It's been quite nicely decorated and everything. There's a few memorial things here to people, so I'm not going to show them because it's probably private and stuff. But that's lovely there. And there's a stone up there, 1889. So we'll have a quick look at that. Absolutely beautiful. I love the little door. The door's beautiful. Proper oldie worldy door, isn't it? And you have to duck as you go out. Second brew?
Second brew.
Right, where are we?
Errwood Reservoir.
Errwood Reservoir. 10 minutes from the house. Down the valley. 10 minutes from the house. Don't know. Anyway, there you go. Story of Errwood Hall and the little chapel that we eventually found. We hope you enjoyed our little day out in the Goyt Valley, where he thought was just near Stockport. It turns out it's a bit further than Stockport. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye for now.
In a bit.